All right.
Team ranked just right.
Goldilocks.
The Washington Commanders. My Goldilocks team is the Washington
outside
Commanders.
the top 10 at number 12.
Number 12. And I think, I've talked about teams being in the right spot before, hiding behind that elite top tier group of football teams. I think if I'm the Commanders at the beginning of the year, if I told you were going to be the number 12 team in the NFL after this past week, you'd be happy. If I told you your quarterback went and had a shootout and maybe arguably outplayed Lamar Jackson at M&T Bank Stadium, you would be thrilled. I think the Goldilocks spot for the Commanders is right here, just inside the Baker's dozen at 12, gives them a chance to climb into that top 8 as the season rolls along, and even if they do take another L or two, they're not going to fall too far back into the 20s, let's say. They're always going to be in that top 15. 12 is a good spot for this Commanders team. Dan Quinn's got them playing really good football. Cliff Kingsbury in the offense, a lot of fun. And Jaden, he seems to be getting even more comfortable. And for a guy who came out looking like an MVP caliber quarterback as a rookie, early in the season, he's even getting better. So they're in the right spot. I mean, they have some holes in that football team, but the offense can carry them through some of these issues.
Yeah, they're going to have to score points, though. I mean, the defense is not that's what he needs. Everybody keeps saying they need to go get Devontae Adams or whatever. And I'm like, don't give up assets to go get him. You need to build that defense for the future.
Yep.
And, Allen being down now, that's big in the middle of their line. I think they're going to give up a lot of points. So Jaden Daniels is going to have to score a lot of points, and I think he will.
It's like when I think about the 2018 Chiefs, they were so dynamic on offense and could score almost every time out, but they couldn't stop anybody on defense. That's really the reason they ended up not being in the Super Bowl champion discussion. So for this Commanders team, to your point, they need to find a way to get this thing more complete to be able to complement that offense. They've already got this offense rolling. Let's complement it on defense.
I was a little higher than them prior to the Jonathan Allen injury. Now they're really like grasping at straws along that defensive line. They're going to really struggle to get pressure on teams, I believe, unless they're going to use Frankie Luvu as a blitzer. I think he's awesome in that role. So they're not without answers, in my opinion, but it's just
they're not going to be able to line up 4 guys and go win.
But exactly, you look at any of the defenses around him: Steelers, Chargers, 49ers, Buccaneers. It's clearly they're behind all those teams. So it's just when you're relying on a rookie QB to go out and win you games every single week,
right?
He'll have duds, like he'll have rookie moments. He'll have games, and he hasn't had many this year.
No.
So, but he will. It's impossible not to. So that will come up, and then also there's the whole. If you remember Cliff's MO in Arizona, they had hot start. Teams find out what they're doing. The Arizona Cardinals last month of the season seemed like every single year were ice cold.
He ran out of new pages in his
playbook.
He's kind of evolved the offense a lot, though.
I tweeted out yesterday. He was taking notes at USC. There's things that he's done on tape this year already that are like right out of the USC playbook.
Correct.
So that's a good thing. When you're Lincoln Riley is when you're, that's why everyone hires the guy under Sean McVay. Everyone hires the guy under Kyle Shanahan because it rubs off on you, these ideas. But we'll see. We'll just see if Cliff has that second act to him that was missing more often than not in Arizona. I hope he does. All right, my team that's ranked just right. Cleveland Browns, number 30. That's precisely where they belong at this point. I don't think they're worse than the Patriots or Panthers, but I don't think they're better than the Jaguars. They stink.
They beat the Jaguars, but
I don't think they're better than them.
No. Not the way they're constructed right now, they're not.
They stink.
Man, the Jaguars stink.
Well, the Jaguars stink.
For the Browns.
I know, but I'm just like, after what he just said.
At least the Jaguars have a quarterback who can make plays on the field. That Deshaun Watson needs to be sat down. Period. End of story.
It's
Terry Bradshaw messed up on the air, and he said they need to put him down. And my dad was like, I think you mean they need to sit him down.
But they need to play Jameis Winston. I'm a big believer that this is being mandated from above.
Oh my God, yeah,
100%.
Because I don't.
Not the Lord.
No.
GM level.
Kevin Stefanski, I don't think wanted him.
Yeah.
He would have been happy keeping Baker Mayfield. Do you think the Cleveland fans would take Baker Mayfield right now?
Goodness.
But this was mandated from above, and now it's mandated from above to play him. He is awful.
It's $64 million this year, right?
And then next year,
64. Yeah. Then 64.
Yeah. I mean, why would you redo that deal?
Well, so the way they did it, it was more just
that's
with the
so
cap
much
rollover.
Money.
Yeah, but look at the guaranteed money is now.
It was always all guaranteed.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't get out from underneath.
Fully.
Yeah, at no point Well, so if they didn't push all that money, theoretically, someone could have traded for him, and they could have taken some of that space on.
Right.
Ain't nobody trading for him. Unfortunately, he is there through 2026, whether they like it or not. And
What they could
cannot
do,
cut him.
What they could do is trade one of their players and say, we'll throw in him as part of the member, and then we'll eat some of the cap hit. That you could do that.
Yeah. As like a purely
Brock Osweiler,
offloading cap. The Brock deal. They did that. It was the Browns that did that, right?
Wait, explain that to me.
So basically,
they package him with somebody else.
So here, we'll give you a player to take this cap space off of ours.
Gotcha.
Basically, just like the Texans did this. So the Texans traded for Brock Osweiler. Basically, it's just a money sink, just because they were in such a bad roster spot, and the Browns wanted to win. Then that they just took him on.
You could make it happen, but his is even almost too restrictive for that unless you take off a big chunk of it yourself.
We've got our best minds on it, sir.
Or it was the other way around. I think I got that wrong. It was the Texans that traded Osweiler.
Yeah. But the bottom line is he is, and I don't know. Look, I always thought he was a tad overrated with the Texans. That was always my belief. Mm-hmm. He put up big numbers the year they went 4-12 that one year, and the other years were very normal, average quarterback years. I never thought he was what everybody made him out to be, but I never imagined he'd be this bad.
Yeah,
he takes a drop back, and he's doing one of two things. He's either dropping back and moving up and moving back and moving up, or he's going this way and that way and that way.
DeAndre Hopkins did get two quarterbacks paid heavily over the course of his career, whether it was with the Texans, Deshaun, and then with Arizona and Kyler. He was in his prime. Very, very nasty. To speak to the cap situation the Browns are in, his cap number the next 2 years, anyone want to take a guess? $72.9 million each of the next 2 years, and then a $26 million dead cap in 2027 for him to not be on the roster. So that's a tough spot to be in this franchise.
I wonder what he's investing in.
But what you can do, what you can do is sit his ass down.
Yeah, I mean,
your money doesn't dictate you have to play.
Exactly. And at this point, he needs it, right? Like, he needs to be told, this is unacceptable. Like, when someone's acting up, you're like, hey, you're doing it wrong, right? Like, you're doing the quarterback position wrong. You got to go back to drawing board, beating your head against the wall the way they are. Ain't going to change things around at this point. He doesn't need more football. He needs everything up here.
He also looks disinterested.
Oh, no, I mean,
That's my point is at which point this year, next year, the following year, does Deshaun Watson, let's just assume that he continues to play at this horrible level of performance. At what point, if you're Deshaun Watson, do you say the $60 million isn't worth it? Get me out of here. I'm so tired of being the center of this media circus. This is a serious question.
Never.
He's already earned so much money. He's going to earn all this money this year. Does he just take his ball and go home eventually?
No,
and get earning and get everybody out of it.
I'd go sit on the bench and earn.
Man, I just don't know how that goes.
$60 million?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't.
That's my question. It's like
it's generational wealth forever and ever and ever. You don't give that up. And
do you think
he retires after this contract? He's just like, I'm done. You think like that's where he is?
That's what I'm thinking. Like he's probably going to just walk his ball home in 2 years.
How many times does he throw a football at a guy's feet?
Oh,
like that's not caring.
With skittish feet of his own.
Correct. That's not caring. That means I'm not going to stand here and even risk taking a shot. And he has got, but in fairness to him, he's been brutalized at times because that offensive line's
in bad shape. We're not going to.
But
he's on pace to take 88 sacks. Mike said.
That's 12
88 sacks.
Wasn't Bill Callahan there?
Yeah, Callahan is. I think I tweeted out he deserves one of Stefanski's Coach of the Year awards after this.
O-line coaches, man.
Here's the other part of it. Joe Flacco didn't have his 2 tackles last year.
So yeah, I mean, it's not
Nick,
impossible. It obviously, I don't think it would be great. Anyone who's playing there, it's not like it's looked awesome, and that's what Jonathan Jones came on last week and said. In practice, no one's really looking good. That's not surprising. But there's a difference between not looking good and being the worst quarterback of all time through 6 games.
Correct.
And he's been the worst quarterback of all time.
And he's also made
all time.
It's since 2000. So all modern times.
He's made the receivers. He's made the receivers look bad at times. They don't even look good anymore. Like Amari Cooper drops balls now and stuff. He's probably so surprised it's on him.
He threw the one little hitch route to Amari, and it was that 2-play sequence that you and I went over yesterday, where he sailed it over his head, and then he skipped it like a rock in a pond, and then he had the gall to look at Amari Cooper and give him that finger up, like that's a jump ball. It's like, no, dude, it's a stop route.
He doesn't, and he's just
figure it out. See, he goes.
If you're getting hit and you're sped up and you're doing things, and you're quick, everything's quick. Okay, that's one thing, but the attitude, it just looks so I got my money. I do not care. And if I'm on that team, I'm going, well, Jameis cares. He might not be better than him, but he cares.
That's the crazy thing is you have the guy who's backup who like is locked in regardless. He's locked in for like week 17 games that don't matter. Like,
right.
He's never going to.
He might turn it over 2 or 3 times,
but
he's going to care. This guy doesn't care.
When I remember playing, and there would be years where we would just be a horrible team, and I'm not going to name any names. So we had a veteran offensive lineman that sometimes at practice he would be like, "Kyle, can you just fall on my leg? Like, just get me out of here." You know what I mean? Like, can you jump on me? I wonder if anybody's like, "Let's roll up on Deshaun during practice and get Jameis in the game."
Let's hear the names.
No names.
Come on. We'll figure it out. We'll find them.
No names.
We'll figure it out.
I'm sure you will.
Next week, I will figure it out.
No names.
I will have a name.
It was a veteran on a bad team.
I will have a name
that I was buddies with.
We'll do it off camp.